Hi, I'm Lillian Eve Moore, and I am a trauma healer. That means that for a living, I get to help people resolve their painful or scary experiences so that they are no longer impacted by them. And this is Dola. Dola does nothing but sleep all day and beg to be pet. One of the kinds of trauma that I often work with is what we call birth trauma. Birth trauma includes any trauma that happened during gestation, during the birth, or during the bonding directly after birth for the next few months. And even though we don't always remember, we usually don't remember the trauma that we experienced at birth, it still can impact us really profoundly because of the brain development that's happening during that time in our life. During that time, our limbic system, so our amygdala, which is our fight and flight, it's our emotional center, really. The pleasure and pain navigation system that enables us to survive is being created during that time. So if we are experiencing trauma or scary things happening in either our own experience or in our mother's experience or our father's experience, then that helps to form what is our normal baseline. So a lot of times people who have anxiety and they don't know why, or they have depression and they don't know why, it actually comes from these traumas that occurred before you can remember them, before you could speak about them, but they are impacting you nonetheless. What's amazing about this form of trauma is that it's inherited. So a lot of times, even if we're not experiencing a trauma ourselves, our mother maybe is having a lot of stress, or she's not getting the support she needs, or maybe she experiences a crisis. But because at that time we're sharing everything with our mother, we actually absorb that. We absorb the cortisol and the adrenaline. We absorb the dopamine. We absorb whatever hormones she's got going on, we've got going on, and as well as the circuitry, or you could say the energy system or the meridian system that our mother has. So a lot of imbalances that the mom experiences, the baby experiences. If the mom has a PTSD, it's more likely that the child will have PTSD. And so a lot of times we get the felt experience of something that we never actually physically experienced. The way this relates to our own birth or giving birth to our own children is that this emotional set point impacts the way we deliver, impacts the way that we birth our own children. If you can imagine, like, you have a landscape that you live inside of emotionally of what feels normal. So when you experience something that was terrifying for your mom, and that's part of your landscape. So when you experience that, it's likely to be terrifying for you too, because of that. It's like a chemical imprint of experience and reaction. So when we go into our own births, it's really important to clear our own birth history and any pain or fear that we absorb from our mother's experience. There's another layer of this too, though, where after we've given birth, a lot of times our own births are traumatic. Maybe you got rushed to the hospital, or your birth plan didn't get played out, or you got pressured into doing something you didn't want to do, or maybe there was a moment of crisis where we weren't sure how it was going to go for the baby. You have your own experience in that, and then that carries through to your child. What's incredible about the healing process, though, is that it works retroactively. So if you clear your own birth trauma, either the trauma that you experienced as a baby or the trauma you experienced as a new mother, then it actually clears it for your child. This is because there's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of explanations for how this happens, but one of the main reasons, or the one I'll go with, is the neurochemistry of it. We have something in us called mirroring cells that allow us to understand emotion in another person. And as children, when we are constantly around our mother and our father, we absorb their emotions even after gestation, even after birth, even after breastfeeding. We're sitting in their energy field and we're sitting in their emotional reality, and we're getting a very real and physical experience of their emotions. So when the parent clears something, it clears it for the child too. So if you've been walking around with maybe tension or guilt around how your own delivery went, your giving birth to your child went, then that is absorbed by your child and it reinforces their own emotional patterns. Whereas if you clear it, then you're reinforcing the well-being and the healing process for the child. So you can see this kind of chain of inherited trauma that at any point can be healed in all directions. You can heal it for your mom, you can heal it for your child, and you can heal it for yourself. And we're going to be doing a live demonstration on this. There'll be more information in the blog about that. So I hope you join in and you watch Chantel and I do this real time. And there'll be some opportunities for you to experience it yourself as well. If you have any questions, you can feel free to connect with us on Facebook or in the comments below.